Welcome everyone to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left-footed. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Week 0 of the high school football season as we get set for the first couple of games here of 2023. Not everyone is playing here in Week 0, but a lot of teams are, and we're excited to bring you some great interviews in this show to get you ready for Thursday and Friday night here in the Inland Empire and the Inland Sports Show coverage area. Now, we are very excited to tell you about a brand new high school football show. We will crack it open on Friday night for the very first time. And it is the Friday Night Pep Rally on Riverside TV. Scores, highlights, interviews, analysis, all the good stuff. Now, it's going to have a focus on the Riverside schools and the leagues that they belong to, but we're going to cover as many games as we can in our area. But it's brand new Friday night on Riverside TV. So if you follow City of Riverside on YouTube, yes, we will be going live every Friday night with the Pep Rally about 30 minutes after the completion of the live Riverside TV game of the week. So if you remember Sports Weekly Live on IEMG, it'll be very similar. Sports Weekly Live had a focus on the San Bernardino schools and the leagues across San Bernardino County. This one will have a Riverside focus, but again, we're going to try to cast a big net and include as many scores and highlights as we can on the Pep Rally. But this show, the Inland Sports Show, nothing changes here. We're still going to cover the entire area from Temecula up to Rim of the World, east of Banning, west of Fontana, Corona. So none of that changes here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, with that said, let's get to the football action. We told you Week 0 is this week, Thursday and Friday. For the Aquinas Falcons, they're coming off a big scrimmage against the Servite Friars this past week. The Falcons getting really dialed in against a big-time team from the Trinity League. Aquinas did some things well, but you're going to hear from head coach Jordan Brusig some areas that were maybe exposed a little bit to get better as for their big game on Friday night against Oak Hills. And that, by design, that's what scrimmages do, right? You want to find out what you guys are good at and maybe some areas that you might not be as good at. And so you can be better, fix those spots before things get real. And things are going to get real Friday night, especially for the Aquinas Falcons, who have a tough non-league schedule, including those first couple games of the year. And Oak Hills, J. Sarah, Cajon, those are some big ones coming up for head coach Jordan Brusig and the Aquinas Falcons. We had the privilege of catching up with Coach Brusig actually on Taco Tuesday. We filmed this interview on Tuesday night as he's getting his team ready to go into battle. Week 0, Aquinas on the road at Oak Hills. Here's Falcons head coach Jordan Brusig. Inland Sports. Well, the high school football previews roll on. Here we are in Week 0. Some big games coming up this week, Thursday and Friday. One of the biggest of all, Aquinas taking on Oak Hills. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. It is the head coach for the Aquinas Falcons, Jordan Brusig. And Coach, man, this is a fun time of the year, right? The record is 0-0. The possibilities are endless right now for Aquinas. How excited are you about this year's squad going into a really big game here in Week 0?
Yeah, super excited. We are just extremely blessed to, be able to do the things that we're doing at Aquinas, and we are real fired up for the 2023 season and excited to start off against a great team like Oak Hills.
Now, you're coming off a scrimmage against another really good team in Servite. What did you guys do well against Servite?
We do well. We ran the ball really well. We were pursuing the football on defense. I thought we gave a great effort. There's just a lot of things we need to clean up. It was a scrimmage, but I think that all in all, we found out where we needed to improve. We found out some things about some of the guys that were untested, and that's what it's for. The entire scrimmage preseason is to find out, kind of where guys stand, and then try and get into the league and win your league. So I thought it was a great night for all of us.
Is it beneficial to go up against a team like Servite, because you're going to see Oak Hills right out of the gate, so that way maybe you're not caught off guard like, whoa, this is a really good football team, because you just saw a really good football team in that scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Oak Hills does a great job running the football, and they're gigantic. Servite again is a big school, and the speed of the game has got to be the kids got to get used to that, and I think that's the kind of the goal throughout the entire preseason. And you don't know where you're going to end up if you make the playoffs, and so you got to kind of get yourself in the mode of where you've been, and if you've been in the playoffs, where you've been, and where your team needs to be mentally, physically, and so it's just a good test, measuring stick to see where we're at.
Coach, you've had a couple championship teams at Aquinas and teams that went deep into the playoffs. When you're in, the month of August or, training camp and getting ready for that first game of the year, can you look around and kind of feel like, hey, this team has the makeup of a championship team? Have you seen some, characteristics or traits of your previous championship teams that you can look for in maybe this year's team or even future teams? Like, hey, I know what a championship team looks like. I think we got some of those things.
Yeah, we had just an outstanding camp. I think we really just came together as a group. We had some guys that were new, and they just really brought a lot of life into the team. The recipe for our success has been able to run the football and play great defense, and we have a great running back. We have a lot of returners on defense. So I mean, the goal every year is to take it deep into the season and play when it's cold. And we've had a lot of breaks. We've had a lot of things go our way, but the kids, when they buy in and the foundation of the program is set early, that they have a strong belief in what we do. They have faith in how we do things. And these guys have done that. I think every team has always done that. Last year we ran. I mean, St. Francis was an unbelievable football team, and we played our hearts out. So every year, I think that's the goal. It's the kind of the unspoken goal. You want to win the league, of course. You want to get to the playoffs, of course. But if you just kind of do the things in June, July, August that are going to carry you deep into the cold, then I always feel like we have a chance. I always think our teams have come together in the end of August because of our camp week. So, I'm excited to see what we're made of.
Coach, you mentioned running the football and playing good defense. You've got JoJo Solis back. I feel like we've talked about this guy for years, but he's only going to be a junior coming up this year. I'm a 49er fan, so I'm a big Christian McCaffrey guy. So I know he's a running back who, can play receiver as well. Is JoJo kind of that guy who also plays defense as well? But do you feel like you could just put him in a bunch of different spots that he's going to make plays on the football field for you?
Yeah, I mean, last year he played a receiver a ton. I think he definitely, when he was a freshman, he got all the carries. He was the back, and last year was a little bit of both. And he has the ability to be in the backfield and run the football, and he also runs great routes. So I think that's what makes him, a little bit different than some of the guys that we had, like Brandon. Brandon was a great running back, but that dude cannot run a route. That was just not his thing. But, I think the coach did a great job of spending time with him doing both things. And, so we're super excited that, he's able to kind of add another element to his game.
All right, Coach, besides JoJo, I know you can't list everybody on the team, but who are a couple other guys that we're going to be talking about this season for the Falcons?
Oh, man. Well, I think, Yakeem at receiver and DB is definitely a problem. Mm-hmm. He can run great routes, does great at corner. We have a ton of seniors, a lot of returners on the O-line. Last year everybody was pretty much brand new on the O-line, so we have a lot of returners on the O-line and the D-line. So I'm just, I think those two guys have the ability to make a ton of plays. But we have a good group of sophomores, some kids that transferred in that are going to help. And, just we got a lot of good guys in some spots that maybe we were a little bit short in the last few years.
Coach, when you look at this year's team, obviously you got some guys back. They had success last year going to the semifinals in Division 5. Did you feel like there was a lot of spots you had to fill going into this season, or did you feel like, hey, we've got enough guys back? It kind of feels like the team that had success last year, the band's back together, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's close to, outside of losing the quarterback, I think it's close to something we had similar in 16 and 17. Mm-hmm. In 16 we only lost 3 seniors, and then the team came back in 17, and I think we are that way a little bit. Some of the seniors that we had last year were 4-year guys, and so they had a lot of experience. But I think that in the front 7 on the O-line, we have a little bit more experience, which is always a big part of the success.
All right, Coach, finally, I know you're excited for football, but do you try to squeeze in any last-minute family stuff before that first game? I mean, is your wife, maybe your wife's a big football fan too, and she can't wait for football? I mean, or do you okay, let's go do a little family trip, let's try to squeeze in a little family time because it's going to be slammed all the way till deep into the cold of December? How do you kind of manage family time, football time, or maybe it's all together? Because I'm sure your wife and kids are at your football games on Friday nights.
They're there, and she's a rock star. Those are late nights. Friday's a late night, and we try to get out of there early enough on Saturdays, and Thursday nights. We practice in the morning on Thursday, so we got a Thursday night where we hang out, and we had a great summer. We did a lot of fun stuff in the summer, and Sundays, go to church and have a day, and we don't meet on Sundays, so we got our time on Sunday. But they're just in it. They're in it like I am. They're there, and I try to get them there on Wednesday nights and get them to practice. They're just, those guys are all troopers. They got my back all the way through it. I'm the luckiest man in the world, Pep. I'll tell you. They're just every day they got my back, and it's just so great when I get to come home and try and get home before the little ones go to sleep and rile them all up and extend bedtime an extra hour. So
that's what dads do, right? That's what dads.
That's
do.
That's what we're here for. But it's they're outstanding, and they're just we're in it till the end, and so we just whenever we can, we squeeze out some family time, just like right now, man. Taco Tuesday. The grill's going. Yeah. They're waiting. We're gonna have dinner here in a little bit. And, so.
Well, Coach, I don't want to keep you any longer. It is Taco Tuesday as we do this interview. I really appreciate the time. Best of luck going up the pass to take on Oak Hills. That's a big one coming up this week in Week 0. That is Aquinas head coach Jordan Brusig. Coach, always thank you for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Pep, appreciate you, man. God bless, dude.
Inland Sports. Big thanks to Coach Brusig, and best of luck to the Falcons on Friday night, all on the road in the high desert, taking on Oak Hills. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, more high school football, Citrus Valley and Chaparral. You guys are on deck, and we got our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game, our first of the 2023 high school football season. We'll be back here on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. Parents, there's no better place for kids to learn how to control their emotions than through sports. There's nothing wrong with competing with emotion. The key is how we use them. Channeling your emotions to work harder, focus more, and compete with intensity is encouraged. But when emotions lead to negative outcomes, this can be detrimental to athletes. That's why it's important that parents model emotional control for their kids. Screaming and arguing with refs, blaming coaches, or getting worked up at other kids on the field are terrible examples of emotional control. So if you want your athlete to keep their emotions in check, be the example. Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Make sure you send your football highlights to inlandsportshow@gmail.com. We can't be at every game. We don't even see every play of every game. We need your help. If you got a great highlight, you capture something great on video, send it our way, inlandsportshow@gmail.com, or you can simply just tag us on social media. We'll see it there as well. We'll download it. We'll put it in one of our shows. We also have weekly awards that we pass out, so we would love to see those best plays that you capture on video. All right, here in this segment, we're going to hear from the Chaparral Pumas, head coach Andrew Raymer, stud tight end Jacob Alvarez, and quarterback Dash Beierly. All those Pumas coming back for another season. They were great last year. Remember, they burst onto the scene and finished runner-up in the Big West Upper League, Division, Conference, whatever you want to call it. And most of those guys are back. They've got a lot of guys back. In fact, they got a lot of underclassmen. So if you think Chaparral was good last year, they're going to be better this year, and they might be even better next year in 2024. But first things first, they got San Clemente in week 0. That is a big game for the Pumas right out of the gate. So let's talk about Chaparral here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, here we go on the Inland Sports Show as we crack open the 2023 high school football season. Week 0, we got a bunch of games on Thursday, some big ones on Friday as well, including Chaparral taking on San Clemente in week 0 action to kick everything off. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We got Jacob Alvarez, Dash Beierly in the middle, and Coach Andrew Raymer on the end. Pumas, welcome to the show, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, Pat. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great now that football's here. I'm fired up for this season, and I'm fired up what you guys are going to do this year. Coach, I mean, you guys, I don't know if you surprised people. Maybe you guys aren't surprised, but I think you really turned some heads last year in that new formed Big West Conference. Everyone was excited. So many great teams, so many great coaches, and you guys ended up taking second place in the Big West Upper. Based on last year's success, Coach, I mean, Is that something to build upon this year, or do you try not to stress too much about what last year's team did? How do you go into this season?
We're focusing a little bit on last year. We had two tails of our season. We started off a little slow and then came in hot during league and the playoffs. So there's definitely talk, some learning aspects of last season for these guys. A lot of guys are going on their second or third year starting. So there's a lot of talk about last year and how we can build on that and make sure that we start hot like we did in league and not start like we did last season. So yeah, there's definitely some talk of last season.
Speaking of just starting hot, man, your first 3 games right out of the gate, big ones against really quality opponents: San Clemente, Apple Valley, and of course San Jacinto. You guys and the Tigers had a great game last year that went down to the finish. In those first 3 games of the season, Coach, do you feel like you're gonna learn a lot about this team?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you're going to learn a lot about game 1 and game 2. The biggest improvements we're going to see: 2 great opponents, highly ranked teams in the state. Just like you mentioned, San Jacinto, we knocked them off last year, but they went on to that state run and CIF title. Coach G does a great job, and then we got the 2 city games right after that. So we don't have a week that we can take a step back. We have to keep stepping forwards and continue to show what we can do.
Since you touched on it, I'll go there real quick. Great Oak and Temecula Valley, not technically league games, but old rivals, city championship on the line. That's important to you guys, right?
100%. It's one of our goals every single year is to make sure that we continue to add to that city championships that we have and walk around the town as champions. It's a big thing in the city of Temecula for sure.
All right, Coach, let me go to your guys right now. Dash Beierly's in the middle, quarterback. We saw him last year get some time as well, leading that Puma offense. And Dash, as you come in as QB1, right, getting all those snaps, are you excited to have guys like Jacob Alvarez and some other weapons on offense that you guys can capitalize on some of the success that you had last year and continue that this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Jacob's a good player. I'm not going to get too much into that, but he's a great player. And we do have some young receivers that are starting to learn the offense and get the chemistry going, which that's great. Linemen, great. We have a lot of returners on the line. Running backs, we look great. As full offense, I think will be very good this year.
Now, Dash, when I think of Chaparral football, of course you got to think about the offensive line. Coach Raymer cranks out O-line guys in his sleep. How much easier does it make your life back there in the pocket knowing you got some studs in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of pressure off my shoulders, knowing I can drop back and be able to see the whole field without worrying about any pressure. That's a quarterback's dream. So,
well, if I can put you on the spot, can you name your offensive lineman in front of you and give him a quick shout out?
Oh yeah, so I'll start from right tackle to left tackle. So right tackle we have Peyton Schaff. Right guard we have Liam Porter. Center we have Cole Fuller. Left guard we have Joey Ibarra. And then left tackle we have Jake Williams. He goes both ways, offense, defense.
So Dash, you have to take care of those guys. I mean, you got to be nice to them at school. I don't know if you buying some donuts on Friday mornings or whatever.
Give them donuts after game days. All that.
All right, Dash. Let me go to your guy next to you, Jacob Alvarez, a big stud tight end for Chaparral, and Jacob. Last year I was talking to Coach. You guys really burst onto the scene. I don't know if you guys were surprised, but maybe outside of that Chaparral bubble, people were like, "Oh my gosh, man, the Pumas are legit." They, like Coach said, slow start, but really came on strong and beat some really good teams in Big West Upper League play. The expectations for this year, based on that success, do you guys feel like that standard has been raised, and you guys have big goals for this season in 2023?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think our season this year, we have to keep building on what we did last year. And Coach Raymer let us know, we needed to, bring everything up in order to compete.
And Jacob, again, last year's success was last year's team. This is kind of like a blank canvas now. You guys go into the season. You got a huge game right out of the gate against San Clemente. What do you think you guys have to do offensively or just as a team to, get a W on Friday night?
I just think we need to make big plays down the field, and we need to be strong, physical, and just fast.
Jacob, you guys scrimmaged Cajon last week, and the Cowboys are traditionally a really good team in our area. What did you guys do well on that scrimmage?
I think we ran the ball pretty good, and then we were just quick releases, quick throws.
Coach, let me ask you the same thing, Coach. In that scrimmage, going up against Cajon, obviously, I'm sure that was by design to see another really good team. Got speed across the board at Cajon. What did you guys do well against Cajon that gets you excited about the San Clemente game?
Yeah, that was the whole goal this offseason. We did a lot of big passing tournaments and lineman competitions to get our guys around these top programs in the state of California. Same thing with Cajon, looking for a scrimmage. We were really looking for a quality opponent that was going to test us and get us ready for this season. I thought our offense was really balanced. We had some big runs. We had a couple big passes. We had a running clock, and it was a scrimmage format. So, kind of the fluidity of the whole scrimmage was okay, right? I thought our defense played really well. The defense was flying around, making some open field tackles, especially against, Cajon's speed and athletes that they have. I thought our defense stepped up, and they're going to have to step up. And it's going to be a full team effort of defense, offense, and special teams, especially, every single game. We're going to be challenged every single game, from those first three that you're talking about to the city games right into the Big West Upper. We're going to have to play all three aspects of football really well. We're going to get everyone's best shot, especially after last year's success. And we're going to have to make sure that we give them our best shot.
All right, let me go back to Dash in the middle here. Dash, I'm assuming Dash is not your real name, right? Where did this come from?
So when I was about 4, that's when I first started playing football. And I was playing flag football, TVPW, just Pop Warner, little stuff. And when I grew up, I was one of the fastest kids always on my team. And all my friends were always like, because my name's Ashton, so then they would call me Dash. And that kind of put the D as Dash. Dash from Incredibles. That's just a thing that was going on at the time. So, yeah, then that's just stuck with me ever since.
I thought there was an Incredibles connection. I didn't want to bring it up. I wanted you to say it, but I thought there might have been one there. Yeah. Jacob, I got to ask you, do you have a nickname? Or you need a nickname if you don't?
I mean, people like on the football team, they call me Big Al. Just because I'm a big kid and my last name's Alvarez, so they just Big Al.
Well, not Mr. Incredible, man. You can do everything on the football field, right? We'll just call you Mr. Incredible from now on.
Oh, yeah. Jacob's going to be playing some tight end, some outside receiver for us, some linebacker. You're going to see him in the backfield taking a handoff. We're going to put the ball in Jacob's hands definitely this season.
Wait, hold on, Coach. Are you going fullback? Are you going old school on us? Old school football?
No, we're going regular offense. We saw Brock Bowers at Georgia taking handoffs in the spring. So we talk about with our kids who they idolize and who they like to watch. And, that conversation got brought up that Brock Bowers was playing a little tailback in spring ball. And Jacob said, I can do that. So you're going to see a little bit, some wrinkles here and there.
That's awesome. That's a great guy to be compared to. In fact, I think I just saw something on social media. He was ranked like the #1 college football player going into this season. So Big Al, how's that comparison? That must be feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's just unreal. You never expect to be compared to one of the greats.
Is that exciting though? That Coach, obviously in your team, they value you so much. How do we find a way to get this guy more involved? Let's get the ball in his hands, or play on both sides of the football. Where just find a place for this guy to make plays.
Yeah, I just want to make an impact. Just whatever I can do to help the team win.
All right, finally, guys, and I'll start with you, Coach. I mean, what do you just think are the keys to victory all season long? What are the Pumas going to be all about? What do you guys need to do to have success this year and put you in a spot to win a city title, be in the hunt for a league title, make a deep run in CIF? What do you think are the keys all season long?
I mean, ultimately in the game of football, you got to stay healthy, right? Every coach is wanting to stay healthy throughout the season, but we're going to build on the things that we made changes after last season's slow start. So we focus on the small things. We kept saying if we focus on the small things on the day-to-day basis, the big picture is going to take care of itself. So it's going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes work that we're going to focus on, and the Friday night is going to be the time where all those pieces of the puzzle come together.
And how about you, Dash? What do you think you guys need to do all season long?
I'm going to go on offense. Actually, no. I'll go a whole team standard. I'm thinking all we need is I think consistency is a big one. Being consistent with, offense, every drive, having a game plan, having getting to that end zone. That's our goal. Hopefully, if we can stay consistent with that, I think we'll be unstoppable.
All right, and finally, Big Al, aka Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, touching on what Dash said, also consistency, and we just need to be physical, just hard, fast every play.
Awesome, guys. Well, listen, I really appreciate the time. Coach Raymer, thank you so much. You always make time for me. I really appreciate it. I'm just a big high school football fan, so I always appreciate you being so generous with your time. Guys, best of luck against San Clemente coming up on Friday night, Week 0 action. Pumas trying to open up the season with a win. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Pep. Of course.
Inland Sports. Yeah, the Pumas are set up to have a big season in 2023. Big thanks to Coach Raymer, Big Al, a.k.a. Mr. Incredible, and Dash for that interview. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to go in-depth with the legendary Kurt Bruich at Citrus Valley. The Blackhawks will scrimmage this week, actually against Rupa Hills, and then they will open the season next week, officially in Week 1, against Mission Viejo, the Diablos, one of the top public schools in the state. So we'll talk with head coach Kurt Bruich of Citrus Valley when we come back here on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken.
So if you're a team coach and you're looking to get your athletes to run better, here's a few drills that you can do to help reinforce good running mechanics. I'm Coach Bass. We're here at Santiago High School in Corona, and I got my man Kyle with me. Today we're going to go over another great technical drill to enhance acceleration mechanics. We're going to do what's called a wall strike. So Kyle, you're going to get against the fence here. All right, Kyle's going to get a 45-degree lean. He's going to push those hips in, back straight, chest up. He's got his right leg up. When I say switch, he's going to attack the fence with his knee. He's going to punch it up quickly, then put it back down underneath this hip. Ready? Switch, 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 and relax. So we just want to get a couple reps here. We don't want to tax them too much. Just want to reinforce that piston-like action with our legs. That's one variation of the wall drill. Okay, so what you guys just saw there was Kyle just demonstrated the wall drill, an acceleration wall strike. The first variation was individual. He was punching his knees, getting that piston-like action. Now we're going to progress this drill, and we're going to do what's called a 3-step. So go ahead and get that 45-degree lean against the fence there, Kyle. All right, punch one leg up. I'm going to give him 2 switches. When I say go, he's going to hit 3-step. Ready? Switch, switch, go, 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 and relax. Very good, Kyle. So again, what we're looking for there is just to progress that individual wall strike. Now we start to get those hip flexors firing with the 3-step. Okay, so we're back here with Kyle. We've done the wall drill, the acceleration wall strike. All right, we've done an individual, we've done a 3-step. Now, Kyle's looking pretty good. He's got the mechanics, he's ready to progress. So now we're gonna go continuous. So we're gonna get that 45-degree lean against the fence. He's gonna have one leg up, one leg down. Okay, I'm gonna give him 2 switches, and then when I say go, he's gonna get after it. Here we go, ready, switch, switch, go. Get it, get it, get it, come on, come on, punch, 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 stop. And relax, very good there. So that's the final progression. Now we're just gonna get those hip flexors firing, and then we wanna hold at the top, get that isometric contraction. So there you guys have it. We have the wall drill and all of its progressions from individual to 3-step to continuous. This is a great drill to execute with your team when you need them to run better. Execute it, see the results. Boost man.
welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Yeah, we're still looking to partner with local businesses in the community. So if you're a local business out there, maybe you manage a local business, you own a local business, you love local sports, and you'd like to promote your business here, we'd love to help brand your company. So hit us up, inlandsportshow@gmail.com, or on social media. You can find us there too. We'd love to help you out. All right, more high school football here. We had a great conversation with Citrus Valley head coach Kurt Bruich. Man, we talked about a lot of things. The current format of the playoffs in the CIF Southern section, who's going to be his quarterback this upcoming season, playing Cajon in the first round of the Division II playoffs last year, and they beat the Cowboys, remember, the first round last year. So we talked about a lot of things. Always enjoy my conversation with head coach Kurt Bruich. So here it is on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, Citrus Valley head coach Kurt Bruich. Coach B. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we get you all set for the 2023 high school football season. We haven't talked to this guy in a minute, but we're glad he's here. It's Kurt Bruich, the head football coach of the Citrus Valley Blackhawks. And Coach, here we go into another season. I was kind of joking with you off the air. As long as I keep enjoying doing this, I'll keep going. You're back for another season. You must, get excited about this time of the year and just going into a new football season where your record's 0-0 and the possibilities are limitless, right?
Yeah, actually, I love the entire process. I really enjoy the off season, and I've got to enjoy it more and more. One, because I don't have to make a depth chart, so you don't have to see kids disappointed. Every kid improves in their strength and their speed, and that's kind of cool thing. And then as you get closer to the season, things start getting a little more competitive, and that's where you have to start, I guess, setting reality in for a lot of kids become role players, and a lot of kids become starters, and then some kids become stars. So it's fun. Like I said, the whole process is a lot of fun, and I still enjoy it too, Pep. I've really fallen in love with it again post COVID. I'm having a great time, and the kids here at Citrus Valley are amazing.
Coach, does this training camp this August, does it feel important to you this year just because you lost some really good seniors? And I know you lose seniors every year, but I'm talking about like your quarterback, your star receiver / DB. I mean, does this feel like an important training camp just for the simple fact that you've got some big spots to fill going into this year?
I think the biggest spot we have to fill is the quarterback position. We have been very, very fortunate at Citrus Valley to have, Dylan Wheatley followed by Hunter Herrera. When he got hurt, Brock Liam came in and did his thing. We've had quite a battle between Cade Finazzo, who's been in the program 4 years, and Dawson Martinez, who joined us late in the spring. And so those two have been learning Cade kind of knows the offense more than Dawson, but Dawson's been very impressive as well. So that's been, the focal point basically is who's gonna be the quarterback for the season. We'll find out here moving forward. They're both gonna get equal time in the scrimmage, and then we'll go from there.
I know it's not popular, but your boy Matt Logan at Centennial, he's played 2 or 3 starting quarterbacks. Is that a possibility, or do you
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely a possibility. They're 2 different quarterbacks totally. They basically will make you prepare for 2 different offenses. And that's not saying they're short at anything else, but they would make you prepare. We're still waiting, on the CIF ruling with Dawson right now. We might see him until Game 6, which happens to be Redlands, by the way. We might not see him till that game, so he might have to sit and watch and learn and be patient as he, waits for his sit out period if that does come to fruition.
Well, Coach, as you go into the scrimmage, you're playing Harupa Hills. I know Cedos Marinas, he's your guy over there at Harupa Hills. Is it important that, going into the scrimmage, you got probably important work that you want to get done, that the other coach, the other team that you're comfortable with, it's like a controlled environment, you're going to, come out of that scrimmage healthy and getting accomplished what you want to get accomplished? Is it important that you schedule a team like that, a coach like that to go up against?
100%. I'm so old that I coached Cedos back at Roland High School back in the day. I was his defensive coordinator. That was my last coordinator job before I got the head job at Cerritos. And then, he coached with me a year at Cerritos, and then when I went to Rev, he got with me there. So we've known each other for a good long time. All of his assistants are ex-players of mine, not all of them, but most. So what we try to do in the scrimmage is we start with the normal scrimmage. We're going to do this many 12 plays. You're going to do 12 plays, but then we start getting more situational. So, we'll both do red zones, and then we'll do, short fields, and then we'll do, and in between all the stuff we're throwing in the kicking game, we're doing, pin punts and field goals. And, it's very controlled, but at the same time, it's very specific because we feel like one of our advantages is teaching our kids situational football. Because sometimes we may not have as much talent, but mentally, if we can win the mental part of the game, learning the situations, that's what we're going to do. And obviously, I've instilled that in Cedos as well. So it's real fun to see what we get out of it.
All right, Coach, after the scrimmage, the first real game is against Mission Viejo. If my memory serves me correct, I want to say maybe 2014-ish. You guys, I think, played Mission Viejo at the U of R. And I know you had some battles with them between Rev and Mission Viejo. Was it important to schedule a perennial CIF Southern Section powerhouse somewhere in that non-league schedule to kind of get tested a little bit?
Oh my goodness, no. The problem we have is no one will play us. I mean, we reach out to everybody in the area, and yes, I'm saying this. So if anyone wants to play us, our schedule is going to be open in preseason next year. Please contact us if you'd like to play us from the area, because we get Carter gets COVID, when we're going to play them, and whoever was playing Centennial had COVID. I'm like, please, but we're not going to run from anyone at the same time, So in the time I've been at Citrus Valley, now we played Centennial, and we're about to play Mission Viejo. I'm not trying to wear chevrons on my shoulder or anything, but those are the two best public schools around. So again, we won't shy away at all. But the way the CIF playoffs work now, playing someone, and this is why people don't want to play us in the same token, is playing someone above you hurts you. Whether you win or lose, it hurts you in the long run. It doesn't do us a lot of good. If we win, what are we going to be in Division I? Come on. And if we lose, it still moves us up. I see where we're ranked at right now. It's just by playing a team with a 50+ ranking, it's going to move us up. So, is it ideal? No, but is it great for our kids because it's teaching them about life and never backing down from challenges and all the good things that matter? Then at the end, who cares about your playoff ranking? We'll go where they put us and we'll be fine. We did pretty well last year.
Coach, what was it? Division II last year, right? You beat
Yes,
Cajon
sir.
in the opening round.
Which is bizarre, Pep. Which is bizarre to have to play your CBL opponent. Nick and I are really good friends, and when you get to the playoffs, you want to root for each other. And you want to help each other out. And there's 2 teams from the CBL. There's 5 teams from the Mission League. I get it. 2 of them played each other as well. But you want to at least be able to, wear the CBL on your chest and go into the playoffs. But when you have to play each other in the first round, the CBL loses. It just loses. And I get that's the rankings and all that kind of stuff, but it was just unfortunate. It was definitely unfortunate that had to happen.
I just kind of assumed that maybe I'm old school, but like when you had 2 teams from the same league, they would be on opposite sides of the bracket. So like if they met, it would be like that championship game. But a first round game, you guys probably sold a lot of tickets. I think it was at Cajon actually, but there's probably a lot of tickets sold. But still, a first round game, that was kind of silly. Yeah,
it doesn't matter anymore. It used to be that way, like you're saying, but now that it's based on a ranking, and it depends where they cut off Division I. So they, Nick and I are texting back and forth before. I'm like, if it's this, you're going to get this. I'm going to get this. If it's this, but I don't know. And I said, the worst thing is if they take 10, then we got to play each other. And I'm like laughing emoji. And sure enough, they said 10. And I'm like, great, So, like I said, it was a big stepping stone for us to be able to compete and actually, beat Cajon. But at the same time, like I said, man, that's not what the playoffs are about. You representing your league, At least maybe I'm old school, but that's what I feel like. It's not every man for himself anymore. We're good lucking each other before the games, with all our CBL coaches and stuff like that. Just as every other league is. It's just unfortunate when you have to play each other. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Coach, because I'm just thinking out loud right now. So when I first got to the IE, it was based on proximity. There was like the Inland Division, Central Division, Eastern Division, to name a few. Do you think there's a way where you could maybe somehow take the competitive equity and geographic location, the proximity of the schools, and somehow kind of make it work?
Well, I mean, they did. The inland division in the past was kind of that deal.
Yeah.
If they got super specific with vicinity, then Centennial will just win every year. Because they're we're the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, the level that you have to get to play them. I know that we're not there yet, as we played them a couple years ago. And, ouch. But I mean, I don't know if there's a way. I mean, people have talked about breaking off. The CIF's such the biggest section ever. People have talked about, can we get an Inland Empire section? Can we get because there's a San Diego section, there's an LA section. Can there be an Orange County section? Can there be different sections? Is what you're saying? And I mean, as far as, if people, if the CIF in a perfect world want to make more money, I mean, that would be the ticket. You might be onto something, Pep. You might become the next Inland Empire CIF commissioner.
The next Rob Wygod out there. Well, you're right. Well, it was like Centennial versus Vista Murrieta in the Inland for I think like 3 or 4 years in a row, which wasn't very fun for everybody else. But I felt like some of those other playoff, like the Central and the Eastern, if there could be some variation of like that for the Inland, maybe. I don't know, maybe put Centennial in their own little open division bracket or something like that, and then everyone else just, go at it. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I don't know how that would work out, but I've heard some people like the competitive equity stuff, and some don't, and some don't like not even knowing what division you're going to be in until the end of the year. So, I mean, there's a lot of variables that I think kind of divides coaches.
Yeah, I feel like it's great for, the teams that haven't had a lot of success. I feel like it's great for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's congratulations. You beat Cajon, go play Chaminade, and they show up with 6-7 linemen across. And I'm like, wait, yeah, this is cool. This is fun. They had 17 D1 commits. We had 2. I mean, come on, man. That's the old private versus public thing. But I said, we gave them our shot. It wasn't like we didn't get blown out.
Well, Coach, finally, going through training camp and leading into your scrimmage, if you were going to just kind of give a blanket statement about this year's Citrus Valley team, where do you think the Blackhawks will be strong this year? What do you think you guys are going to do well that might lend, towards success?
Okay, give me 1 sec. My lights went out. Just 1 sec.
Oh, my
gosh.
technical
difficulty. There we go. All right, I'm back.
Pay that electric bill. I know electric bills are high right now, but
it's the sensor in the classroom. I'm sorry, Pep, you got to repeat the question.
Just the fact, like a blanket statement, just, what this Citrus Valley team is going to do well this year, and what do you think is going to be the key for you guys just being successful all year long, whether it's this, daunting non-league schedule, CBL, a deep playoff run. What do you think is going to kind of be the makeup of this Blackhawk team in 2023?
You know what? I'm very interested. Usually I have a big idea on how we're going to be, this year, I'm very optimistic that we could have a big year, but I also, see some things that could hinder us from having a big year, without throwing anyone under the bus, or any kind of thing and weakness that we have. But people will still figure it out. We'll play good coaches. Our statement is this. I think we're very good in the offensive line. We have 4 returning starters back. So I know we're going to be physical in the offensive line, which will allow us to run the ball a little bit more and take the heat off our quarterback. I think we have 1 to 2 tight ends that we can insert in at any time, to get more guys in the box. We have great playmakers on the outsides, receivers. We have 2 really good running backs. And I said we have we'll have a 2 quarterback system eventually. One quarterback can score and the other quarterback can throw it 100 yards. Defensively, we're gonna confuse people. We're gonna line up in all kinds of different fronts. We're gonna move. We're gonna fly around. We're just going to create things on defense, like we always do. Coach Tessitore does a great job, not only figuring out what the other team's doing, but applying pressure to those areas. He'll take away things that you do really well and make you go to your, 3rd, 4th option. Mm-hmm. And he's always been good at that. We have a lot of guys returning. This team, started during COVID, but we really didn't start till spring. So we've actually coached them for all 4 years. They were never a freshman team. They were always varsity kids their whole 4 years. So they're used to us. We're used to them. It was hard for me. I didn't even pick captains this year because there's so many of them who are such great leaders that'll be important for us. When adversity hits, different kids are going to step up and lead our team at different times. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm very, very optimistic about because I love that. I mean, more than football and wins and losses, to see these kids grow and thrive and and take on leadership roles. And some of them really disappointed because they might not be starters, but still take leadership roles, and coach the kids who's in front of them, who might be a little younger. Hey, this is what you got to do in this situation. That makes me really proud, and that's what you want your program to be about. Obviously you want to win, but at the end of the day, those kind of things help you win, and help those kids win. So that's us in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm getting all fired up again, Pep. You got me all excited. But at the end of the day, I love our team. I love our situation, and let's see what happens. Let's go find out.
Well, Coach Bruich, I always appreciate the time. You're always so generous hopping on the Inland Sports Show. Tell my boy Cetos hello when you guys scrimmage, and here we go. I know we got week 0 this week, but next week you guys will get it cracking against Mission Viejo, and that's a huge game right out of the gate. Inland Sports. The one and only Coach B, Coach Bruich at Citrus Valley. Again, the Blackhawks opening the season. Not this week, next week in week 1 against Mission Viejo. One more commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we are going to have our first Ken Sporting Goods must-see game and highlight some of the top games coming up in week 0. That is next.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. In pursuit of your goals as student athletes, it's perfectly fine to feel frightened, even intimidated over the amount of energy that will be required. The question is, how do you respond to fear? Do you allow it to stand in front of you or push you from behind? Big dreams and goals should always scare you a little, but allowing that fear to stand in your way will prevent you from moving forward. While those who use that fear as energy to push them forward can surmount any obstacle and achieve any goal. Your boy, Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco. #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken. Inland Sports.
Wouldn't that be funny if something did happen to Stafford and he takes him on a long run?
He might. I mean, again, the guy's a winner. He won a couple national titles at Georgia. In fact, I forgot to put 2 and 2 together that when they won the national title this past year, it was at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. The guy has won big games already in that stadium. So, but yeah, we didn't know what we were getting with this guy. He wasn't exactly highly ranked coming out of Georgia. Was he a great player? Was he a national champion? All those things, yes. But when he talked about the top quarterbacks going into the draft, his name really wasn't near the top of the list. So But this guy's a winner, and I think he proved it in that first NFL preseason game.
This is classic IE guy territory, these preseason games.
Oh, then you're going to love this, Patrick. IE guy versus veteran backup guy. Our guy Tanner McKee, the pride of Centennial High School, man. He is battling for the backup job with Marcus Mariota, who I just watched that series on Netflix, Quarterbacks, and he was one of the guys they featured. And at the end of towards the end of the series, they found out, that Marcus Mariota was signing with the Philadelphia Eagles to go back up Jalen Hurts. Well, guess what? Our guy Tanner McKee, the pride of Centennial High School, in his first preseason game, was one of the best-looking quarterbacks all weekend long. So Marcus Mariota, if he thought he was just going to, get the backup job, he's got another thing coming. Tanner McKee's going to make him work for it. Tanner McKee might be the guy for the Philadelphia Eagles as the backup.
Inland Sports.
Hanging out with my boy Patrick in the mornings on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning at about 9:30 a.m. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's get to our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game, our very first of 2023. We're fired up about it. We'll do this every single week throughout the season. In fact, throughout the entire CIF school year. But our first one, week 0, it's a big one. It's Vista Marietta taking on Great Oak. The Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. Coley Candell makes his return to the sidelines for Vista Marietta. He led them to 7 CIF Southern Section Championship appearances, has 1 CIF Southern Section title, beat a mighty Centennial team in that championship game. And they're going up against Great Oak. Great Oak, remember, co-champion in the Big West Lower Division last year. So it's kind of a rivalry game, right? Old Southwestern League rivals, the return of Coley Candell. So much to love about this matchup. It's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. Let's take a look at some other big games coming up in week 0. And how about Roosevelt against King? We'll see the debut of Chuck Chastain as the new head football coach at Roosevelt. Aquinas taking on Oak Hills. We just heard from head coach Jordan Brusig earlier in the show. The Falcons are loaded again, and they've got a tough test in week 0. Santiago on the road at Ukaiba. Bert Esposito making his Sharks debut in that one. Of course, Mater Dei and Centennial, that is always a big one. Whenever they play, whether it's playoffs, whether it's week 0, it's always a big deal with the Huskies and the Monarchs. And, for Centennial, trying to erase last year. Remember, it ended in the Division I quarterfinals, an early exit for the Huskies, but they are poised to bounce back. Hassan Longstreet, the quarterback, looks like the real deal. He's going to make his Centennial debut after transfer from Inglewood, so it should be a great matchup between those two heavyweights. We got the Jack, San Jacinto taking on Beaumont, their rivals, and remember the Tigers are coming off a CIF Southern Section title from a year ago. Elsinore, Randy Kirschman, new head coach for the Tigers. He'll be taking on Grand Terrace. The Titans, man, there's a lot of talk. The Titans could have a big year. That's a very good football team. So a good test for both teams in week 0. And finally, Rancho Cucamonga taking on Murrieta Valley, 2 of the top teams in the area going head-to-head. And of course, what's not to love when you see Bear Bachmeyer under center? He's going up against a very good defense for Rancho Cuc. So those are just some of the top games coming your way in week 0. And again, to get all the action this coming week, we got a brand new high school football show. One more quick plug for this one. The Friday night pep rally. We'll squeeze as many scores and highlights into this one. So it's going to be on at about 10:30 p.m. We don't have an exact time. So the Riverside TV Game of the Week usually ends around 9:30. And then about 30 minutes, 60 minutes after that one, we'll go live with the Friday night pep rally. It is brand new. I hope you'll check it out. And it's kind of like our preseason tune-up. So hopefully everything goes well on Friday night. Myself and the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, will be in studio. And again, scores, highlights, interviews, analysis, all the good stuff brought to you by our good friends at Riverside TV. Can't thank those guys enough. They have a state-of-the-art studio. Can't wait to get in there and bring you some great local football action, man. And we're just big fans like you guys, so we're excited to do this for you. All right, my name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you watching this show. Make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. And again, if you'd like to go the extra mile, we have a thanks button on each of our Inland Sports videos. Or if you're a local business, please hit us up. We'd love to promote your company right here on the show. Next week, we will be back in the Teen Vision TV 16 studio. We are fired up about that. Our director, Johnny Nunez, man. I miss you, Johnny. We're coming back, man. So looking forward to that with the start of the football season. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Week 1 of the high school football season next Wednesday. But first things first, can't wait for week 0. Here we go. We'll see you next time on the Inland Sports Show.